Here we are, let's do chapter 7 of Stick Dog. It's called Bite, Drive, Dive, and Fly. Well, I was thinking that there are 4 human creatures and 5 of us, so the numbers work to our advantage, began Mutt. Stripes, Poo Poo, Karen, and I each choose a human, then on the count of 3, we run across the field and bite the ankles of each human. While they're screaming in pain, Stick Dog grabs all the hamburgers off the grill and brings them back to his pipe for us to eat. Some ankle biting. Okay, said Stick Dog, that's one plan. Does anybody have a plan that doesn't involve biting people and me burning my paws off on a flaming barbecue grill? You don't like my plan? Mutt asked, a little depressed. Oh, that's not it at all, said Stick Dog. It's a great plan. Let's just see if we can come up with an even greater plan. This made Mutt feel better. I think I have an idea, Poo Poo volunteered. See that car over there? It must be theirs. It's the only one in the parking lot. What if I snatch the keys from the mom's bag? It's right there on the bench by the picnic table. Then I hop into the car and drive away. I won't steal it or anything, just drive it a few blocks. The whole family of humans will chase me. While they're chasing me, you guys get the hamburgers and take them back to Stick Dog's pipe. Just save some for me, okay? There's the picnic table. And Poo Poo driving. Suddenly, Mutt interrupted with a great deal of excitement. Poo Poo, he said, hopping up and down. Can I ride in the passenger seat and maybe roll down the window? I could stick my head out while you're driving. Is that okay? There's nothing like sticking your head out a window, man. All the different smells, and sometimes you see other dogs on the sidewalk and you could bark your head off and there's wind in your ears and your fur. It's a blast. I mean, an absolute blast. Please let me. Please, please, please. How do you know so much about riding in a car, Mutt? Asked Stripes. I used to go on my human's mail route with him every Saturday. His name was Gary. He let me hang my head out the window. You lived with a mailman? Asked Karen, shocked. I bark at mailmen all the time. Maybe I barked at this Gary human. I doubt it, said Mutt, lowering his voice. That was a long, long way from here. Will it bother you if we bark at mailmen? I mean, seeing as you used to have a human mailman of your own? Mutt shook his head and smiled. Heck no. In fact, I used to bark at Gary all the time. You did? Poo Poo asked. You barked at your own human? Yeah. I'm a dog, and he was a mailman. What choice did I have? Mutt said, clearly regarding this question as ridiculous. All of the other dogs agreed that this made perfectly good sense. Mutt returned to his original thought. So, Poo Poo, can I ride in the car during your most excellent plan? Well, said Poo Poo, I was really planning on you helping with the hamburgers while I drive the car by myself. Come on, man, Mutt begged. It was obvious that he would do just about anything to ride in the car and hang his head out the window. His eyes popped open really wide. I've got it. What if while I'm hanging out the window, I act as a lookout? I can tell you when the family is chasing us down, how close they're getting, if the police are after us, if you're about to run the car into a telephone pole, that kind of thing. That would be helpful, right? Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? There they are running into a telephone pole. Well, let me think about it. I love riding in a car. It's the thing I miss the most. You have to take me, pleaded Mutt. Sometimes you even get bugs in your teeth, and sometimes some of those bugs are delicious. I don't know which ones because they fly into me at like 30 miles per hour and I can't see them, and because, I swallow them. You just gotta let me come with you, Poo Poo. Well, okay, Poo Poo finally responded. Yes! That's when Stick Dog spoke up. One question, Poo Poo, he said. Do you know how to drive? Poo Poo lowered his head. No, he whispered. Does that mess things up? Do you think it's a bad plan? Not at all, said Stick Dog. It's just such a good plan that I think we should save it for a very desperate time. Like when we're starving even more than today and must have some hamburgers. When that happens, we'll all say, remember Poo Poo's great plan from a couple years ago? Let's use that. Oh, I see, said Poo Poo. Yes, that makes perfectly good sense. Good, I'm glad, said Stick Dog. Anybody else? Mutt sat down and moaned to himself. I really, really wanted to hang my head out of that car window, he mumbled. The other dogs felt sorry for him. If we get those hamburgers, Mutt, Stick Dog said, I guarantee they'll taste better than the bugs that smash into your mouth when you ride in a car. This thought lifted Mutt's mood immediately. That's when Karen spoke up. She said, I have a plan. Let's hear it, Stick Dog said. Karen took a deep breath, her long dachshund abdomen inflating from front to back, and began. It may hurt a little bit, but I think it's worth it, she said. Let's go over to the creek and climb up that tall cliff right above that really shallow part. Then we jump off. I love that picture of them jumping off the cliff. Karen stopped. Poo-Poo, Mutt, Stripes, and Stick Dog couldn't tell if that was the end of the plan or whether Karen was just taking another deep breath, or perhaps whether she was contemplating how much it would hurt to fall off a cliff through about 3 inches of water and land on a bunch of jagged rocks. Said Stick Dog, how does that get us any hamburgers? Isn't it obvious? Karen said, slightly put off. Well, yeah, answered Stick Dog, but in a sort of non-obvious way. Maybe you could fill in some of the details for us. Oh, very well, said Karen. After we jump off the cliff onto the rocks, we'll have lots of cuts and bruises, you see. Maybe even some broken bones. Won't that be wonderful? Yes, I suppose so, Stick Dog said slowly. But again, can we get to the getting the hamburgers part of the plan? Karen sighed, the biggest, longest sigh a dachshund could sigh. Now, between you and me, that's not very big, because, dachshunds are not very big. But for Karen, it was as if she had sucked in enough air to fill up a blimp and then let it out again. We go up to the family, Karen explained. She spoke very slowly and seemed sort of embarrassed for her friend's lack of smarts. And they give us the hamburgers because they feel sorry for us. At this, the conclusion of Karen's plan, Mutt, Stick Dog, Poo-Poo, and Stripes all nodded their heads as if they understood all along that throwing themselves violently and tragically off a cliff was a grand and marvelous way to get a few hamburgers. Okay, said Stick Dog, let's call that Plan B. There's an injured Stick Dog. Plan B? Asked Karen incredulously. Plan B? Yes, said Stick Dog. Why? Think about it. Plan B. B, Stick Dog explained, looking Karen right in the eyes. B stands for beautiful, or bountiful, bodacious, bombastic. Brilliant? Asked Karen quietly. Yes, of course, said Stick Dog. Brilliant, too. At this, Karen puffed out her tiny dachshund chest with pride. Stick Dog's making them feel better about some really bad plans. Stick Dog turned and looked at Stripes, who was all too happy to offer a plan of her own. I see that once again it is up to my keen intellect and superior brain skills to devise a strategy for our success, said Stripes. You will all listen carefully, please. I do not want to repeat this plan. A plan of this magnitude and brilliance is both effervescent and maxitastic. What is it? Mutt sighed. It involves that big gazebo where the humans will eat their hamburgers, began Stripes. She paced back and forth in front of the other dogs. I think we should put on a little show for the humans inside that gazebo. It will be like a theater play. We'll all act something out. Ooh, I love plays and acting, screamed Poo-Poo. Good, I'm glad, continued Stripes. We're going to act out a cops and robbers kind of play. Shadow is pacing back and forth. I'll start that over. Good, I'm glad, continued Stripes. We're going to act out a cops and robbers kind of play. With my background in law enforcement, I can lend real authenticity to the story. You used to be a police officer? Asked Mutt. Stripes swelled with pride. Well, sort of. I was a guard down at the mall. Stripes turned away for a moment and lowered her voice. That all ended with the nacho cheese grande incident. What nacho cheese grande incident? I don't want to talk about it, Stripes whispered, and her whole body shivered. Okay, said Stick Dog. He was anxious to get the hamburger grabbing idea going again. He was so hungry now that his stomach was beginning to hurt a little. Tell us more about the cops and robbers play that you're proposing. Stripes hesitated for a few seconds more to gather herself and then said, first, Karen is going to run by the gazebo a couple of times with a really good-looking stick in her mouth. Second, Mutt and Poo Poo come running up to the human family and turn their heads back and forth like they're looking for something, and they cry a lot. Why do we do that? Asked Mutt. You see, Karen has stolen the stick from you two, explained Stripes, and you're very upset about it. Okay, said Stick Dog slowly. What about you and me, Stripes? Oh, we're on the roof, Stripes concluded. She headed toward the gazebo. Come on, let's go. Follow me. Remember your parts. Mutt, Poo Poo, and Karen scurried out from behind the honeysuckle bush to follow Stripes. Wait a minute, said Stick Dog. Come back here, please. The other dogs stopped and came back. Why are you and I on the roof? Stick Dog asked. Didn't I mention that part of the plan? Asked Stripes. I apologize, Stick Dog. It just seemed so obvious that I didn't think it was worth mentioning. Allow me to explain. Please do, Stick Dog said. You and I climbed to the roof, Stripes said. She was starting to motion with her paws, acting it out as she spoke. We stack up some garbage cans or boxes to get up there, no big deal. I find a big piece of cloth material and quickly fashion a cape. I'm looking for something in deep maroon and royal blue if I can find it. Those colors are very prominent in my color wheel at this time of year. The other dogs didn't know what this meant at all, but Stick Dog shot a quick look at Poo Poo, Mutt, and Karen that said, don't even think about asking, without actually saying it. Stripes continued. Once I get that cape on, you tie a rope around my belly, Stick Dog. It's going to have to be a pretty long rope. After that, we crawl right to the edge of a gazebo roof. And that's when you lower me down on the rope until I'm hanging right in front of the hamburger-eating humans. You swing me back and forth so it looks like I'm flying. My color-coordinated cape is flapping in the wind behind me. It will look magnificent. And then, presto, hamburger time. Stick Dog inhaled very deeply. Why are you wearing a cape? I'm acting, remember? I'm Superdog. You're Superdog? I'm Superdog. And why are you swinging in the air? To look like I'm flying? Stripes answered and looked at the other dogs, nodding her head and smirking at Stick Dog. Of course, to look like you're flying, Stick Dog repeated. And how does this great piece of theater get us the hamburgers? In two ways. First, the family emerges from the gazebo to see Superdog save the day, because, you know, how often do you get to see a flying dog chase down a stick-stealing criminal? Not very often, especially when Superdog is really just swinging back and forth from a rope, said Stick Dog. Right, exactly. And since they've run out of the gazebo, the hamburgers would be left unguarded, Stripes said. By this time, Mutt, Poo Poo, and Karen have run around the back of the gazebo out of sight. They can sneak in and snatch all of the hamburgers. While they're doing that, you swing me one more time and I go bashing into the family, knocking them down and giving us even more time to complete our mission. Stick Dog had no more questions, but Karen had one. Do I get to keep the stick? Sure, no problem, answered Stripes. Well, it's a terrific plan, said Stick Dog. He knew there were actually quite a few flaws in Stripes' plan, including finding a cape and a rope, climbing to the top of the roof, and getting 4 humans to believe that a dog swinging back and forth from a rope was really a flying canine superhero and not, a dog swinging back and forth from a rope. But Stick Dog didn't mention any of these problems. He figured that if he could just take the blame quickly and simply, then maybe they could get to those hamburgers sooner. He said, but I think I'm going to mess things up, Stripes. I'm just not strong enough to swing you back and forth like that. It's my fault your plan won't work, and I apologize for that. Stripes looked very sad and dejected. She said, it's okay, Stick Dog. I understand. It really is a good plan, Stripes, said Stick Dog. Stripes still looked sad. Your spots look great today, he added. They're really standing out nicely. The black spots combined with a white background are creating the perfect balance between lightness and darkness, and your fur looks especially clean and soft. Did you have a bath recently? Yes, I did, as a matter of fact, said Stripes, just a few months ago. Well, we can certainly tell, said Stick Dog. Right, everybody? Yes, oh yeah. Poo Poo, Karen, and Mutt all chimed in quickly. Stripes' tail began wagging again, and when it did, she, Poo-Poo, Mutt, and Karen all gathered in a circle around Stick Dog, because when it came to finding food, they knew Stick Dog would have a plan. He always did. That's the end of chapter 7. All right, let's do our drawing lesson. I actually want to do a drawing that is not even in the book. I want to draw my favorite stick figure animal. All right? I'm not even going to tell you what it is. You guys can figure it out as we go. So we're going to put a little rectangle here. Then we're going to put a bigger rectangle down here. Connect the two with a long line. You see what we're doing yet? Nose goes there. Some long legs. It's a giraffe. Eye. Make this giraffe happy. Smile. Ears are going to be sort of like this. Giraffes have those little black horns on their head, so put in a couple of sort of like black bumps up there. Hold this a little closer so you can see it. And giraffes have manes, so we're going to do sort of a squiggly line down here. And they have that tail with a sort of a little fly swatter thing at the end. Sort of like that. Let's go ahead and put some hooves on here. And then giraffes have that really interesting pattern on their skin or fur. It's like squares and diamonds. So add a few of those. You can even put a couple up on the head. Sort of like that. And that's a stick giraffe. I actually mention a stick giraffe and get to draw a little bit of a stick giraffe in the Donuts book, the 5th book in the series. Don't forget to sign your picture. Okay, cool. We're getting toward the end of the book. So next chapter is chapter 8. See you there.